경기장 도시형.
All right, welcome to Shakura's Plateau, ladies and gentlemen. And down here in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our red Protoss player hailing from Team FXO, the Code B president himself, Choya. And his opponent in the top left-hand corner from the Team Old Generation StarCrafters, our blue Terran player, the STC.
All right, so I'll tell my little Choya story so people know what's going on. So basically, back when I was at the GSL, ComTV was doing a little show. They do little shows for the Korean side of things. And one of the sections they were doing was kind of teasing FXO. They were having people say into their camera for the show later on, oh, FXO is such an easy team. So I was one of the people they asked to be like, oh yeah, FXO, it's an easy team to beat and all that. You know, it's sort of a joke. And I didn't mean it at all, obviously. I'm a huge FXO fan. So I said it, but then the next day I come to the studio, Choya had seen the show when it aired later on. He's like, oh, FXO easy, FXO easy, and like all the time he was like punching me and stuff like that. Not like, like punching me in the stomach sort of thing. And I'm like, no, Choya, just a joke. I'm like, only joke. I'm like, FXO hard, very hard. I'm like, you, FXO hard, Choya. And he's like, no, I'm bad. I'm like, I'm code B. And I'm like, no, Choya, don't worry. B is a higher letter in the alphabet than A, so you are actually better than a code A player. In fact, you are the code B president. I'm going to call you FXO Hard Choya from now on. He was like, no. So then, of course, every time I saw him after that, I was like, FXO Hard Choya, go. And he's like, no. So sometimes.
That's awesome, though.
That's right. But he would sneak up behind me. He would seriously do this. Choya would sneak up behind me and, like, punch me in the kidney. Or, like, sneak up behind me and, like, grab me. It's weird.
I'm
He was
not
always trying to do
surprised at
that,
all.
so I have no remorse.
Choya, so
all.
BM all the time.
Choya's a interesting guy.
Well, let's see here. As you said, he's going to pick out a particular two-base build here. His opponent, the STC, has decided not to go after a one-rax gasless FE. He has decided to throw down gas off of one base for the time being. We'll see what he saves up for, if it's going to be add-ons or if it's going to be a factory and an eventual 1-1-1 in a bit.
Yep. STC, in my experience anyway, is not the player that likes to do a lot of 1-1-1s. He does like to expand and play for a little bit longer game.
Uh-huh.
And look at that. Choya sending that first zealot across the map. He's going to try to get in there and do a little bit of damage if your opponent doesn't wall off. If they do something that isn't a gas opening, then sometimes your zealot can get in and do some damage. Oh, and a factory going down for STC, so I may have to eat my words, man. That's a hidden factory, too. I wonder if we're going to see Banshees from this. I'm curious now.
Could very well be. No, StarTale curious, not I'm curious. And
right, not yet.
Gateway did actually produce 2 zealots right away, so...
Okay.
When he does make it into the base!
Uh-oh.
All right, is he going to be able to scout, though? We're going to see if he makes his way off to the right. Sees one gas. The probe is going to have to look around the map, not seeing anything off to the left. Oh, God, we know that factory's over there.
Oh,
here comes
is he gonna
Choya.
See it? He saw... he sees the factory, so whatever SDC had been planning is now sort of found out.
And every SEV kill here is disastrous for the STC, as he did pull so many workers off the line there as well. So Choya already up by 5 supply, and we'll see how he wants to prepare. We already have a second gate being thrown down at the front.
Well, the really fascinating thing is that he's got Marauders and concussive shells on the way along with this factory. So this is a totally weird build. And look at that, he's actually moving the factory.
Where is this
going?
Is
he just going to scout with this? Is he? He's putting down a command center. Okay, so I think he's just decided to scout with the factory because he got found out. He's just going to try to turn this into a little bit of a later Marauder expand now. And because he has killed that Zealot, he can maybe do a little bit of pressure. No, not with 2 Stalkers there, so he's going to have to turn around, and he may even lose some units if he decides to push too far forward into this.
It's very possible. So we'll see here now as Choya sees everything up at the front, and STC just going to have to turn around. Yep, bye-bye.
Wow, he's actually lucky that Choya didn't pursue there, because you can chase those units down and kill them. No problem with Protoss.
Looks like he is now. He's just a little bit later.
Yep, Stim on the way now for STC as well, so he's definitely changed his build. I really wonder what he had planned at that point. He could always land that, produce some Hellions, and run them in as well, but I don't think we're going to see that. Yeah, with 2 more barracks on the way, he's going to have to spend everything on that, just using that factory for scouting. But he can create a starport now, a little bit quicker, maybe get some medevacs going. But he's making 3 barracks, so I don't know. STC's doing kind of a weird build right now.
I mean, it seems like he's just very, very late going into an expand 3 racks into medevacs build. He's just got so messed up by what happened at the beginning.
And generally, if you're going for quicker medevacs, you don't build that 3rd barracks yet. But Obviously, what he was planning has been beyond derailed by it being scouted by Choya. Yeah, he's just going to land and maybe try to create a Hellion or two to do some damage to those probes.
Well, let's see here now as STC finishing up barracks number 2 and 3.
Yep.
Also has his second gas coming up as well. So he'll start that collection here pretty quick. And back on Choya's side of things, already prepping for any sort of harassment. Nice spread on the Stalkers there.
Well, you know, he is definitely expecting Medivacs to come in here, you can tell. But this time it's going to actually be Hellions. Ooh, and he can actually catch some probes here if Choya is not paying attention. We'll have to see. Choya, though, playing very, very safe, going for the Robo and some gateways early on.
Yeah, most certainly. Now, we do have a starport coming up already, so that's pretty quick. You will be able to move into Medivac production here pretty soon. And Stimpack going to finish pretty quickly as well, as he has a decent number of units on the field.
Yeah, despite his opening build being a little bit messed up, he's going to be perfectly fine. Look at that. Gets a great scout with that Hellion. So STC definitely making the most of it. That was a long way for that factory to fly, man. I don't think Choya was expecting that.
No, not at all.
A long way.
He's going to have to cancel here and move up. Oh, and it looks like STC may take advantage of that run right up the front.
Very smart move by the STC. And this actual Nexus, is actually in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, it is. At the very least, all of the economy here is certainly at risk, because a lot of probes have already gone down. There's Guardian Shield, though. Stim running back. He's going to pick off a couple of units. Looks like Choya is starting to bring in quite a bit, but of course his units are very slow, and the STC going to be able to make it out of there. He did get a couple more Hellions inside of his opponent's base as well.
Wow. STC, you know, it's weird. I wonder if he was planning on this all along. Such a strange little move by STC. I do wonder why he didn't kill the pylon at the natural. He probably could have stayed, done a little bit more damage. But as it is, doing a pretty good job picking off some probes. Gets another one. How many kills is that Hellion up to?
Doesn't matter. 15 worker kills overall. That Hellion has 3 kills by itself.
Wow. Not a bad job at all. STC just really, really messing with Choya. Look at that. He's got 2 observers flying around together.
It's kind of cute in tandem there. Right. The Blue Angels of the Protoss army, I suppose. All right.
They get spotted, though.
Moving off in formation now. And STC putting another base hidden down to the bottom left-hand corner. Choya is sitting on 30 workers at the moment, so he took quite a hit because he was doing well there for a while. As we can see, like before, he did lose 15 workers. Wow.
Yep, Choya going for that Forge and Templar, not Templar, guys. Twilight Council. Doesn't look like he's going to scout that third yet quite, but I think he's going to be going for some quick blink to kind of stay safe. Try to stay safe anyway against some of those Medivacs.
I just wish that Observer would have continued down a little bit. Fortunately not, though. Let's see here. So STC has quite a bit of forces up at the front. He's actually been producing 1 Marauder, 1 Marine for a while. Now finally going back into double Marine production because he had been diverting other resources into engineering bays and all these supply depots, etc. So... Yep. Oh, and especially the factory as well, but making some Hellions.
Yep, that's right. If you're going for upgrades and also Medivacs and have 3 barracks, you're not going to be able to produce from all of them at once. You have to kind of pick and choose until you get a better economy going. You can see he's putting down 2 barracks now because he's about ready to get that. Oh, you think he saw the shimmer?
I don't know. That observer thought about tearing after that SCV for a while, but no. Actually, STC going to move out with a pretty strong push, but just stimming 1 unit to each of the Zelnaga towers. Already, that Stalker says, "Want no part of that. See you later, dudes."
Nope. Yep, he's not going to be caught unawares by it.
And let's see here, as it's quite a few forces for Choya, but he's got those pretty separated at the moment. He's worried about some drops.
And he should be, too. He's going to lose this pylon, certainly.
Yeah, nothing he can do about that, unfortunately. And doesn't want to lose that Immortal on the high ground either.
Oh, is he going to go up the ramp? That'd be a bad idea.
No, looks like he's going to tear away for now.
Yep. Now, if he can just kind of sit and contain Choya on 2 bases, that's all he really needs to do at this point, because he does have that 3rd command center going. Choya going for robotics bay. Yeah, that's pretty valuable pylon. Probably doesn't want to lose that one.
No kidding. Until this one pops up, this is powering a lot of stuff. All right. So,
you know what? There is actually something going across the bottom of the map, and it is a warp prism. Yeah, and he's going to... Oh, he does find it.
Yes, he does.
Will he see it, though? Yes. Knows. So that base is going to be at risk here.
And looks like STC is actually going to be in a position to bring some forces back in a bit, so not going to be that big of a deal. He was actually trying to set up for a nice drop himself through the bottom corridor, but these mules are going to be forced away, killed. That's a lot of resources destroyed, actually, by that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And looks like a few SCVs trying to make their way back. Smart.
Sorry, yeah, STC faked that he was going to drop up there. I believe that was a fake to get the Warp Prism to run away, yeah. Nice job with those medevacs, scaring away Choya's Warp Prism.
And Choya going to make his way back, but he's done a little bit of economic damage now, but he knows that his opponent does have a third command center finished, and he's just sitting on 2 bases.
Yep. Yep, that is right. And that third is going to be pretty easy to hold for STC as well with his army now. STC is quite a bit ahead of his opponent. He's getting +2 weapons on the way. The only problem is that his armor upgrades are a little bit behind, but that's not too huge of a concern just yet. Second forge for Choya now getting produced.
And Marine has to scoot away there as Warp Prism is sitting in the middle of the map. It's going to come back now. Has renewed vigor. No, I'm sorry. There's a cell there. Has to run away.
That poor Marine. It's like, oh,
why do I have
look
to be
at
the
that.
bait?
He even saves it.
Yeah.
Look at that. STC just cares so much about every single unit in his army.
Every unit is sacred.
Yeah,
so.
if you're going to be a unit in a Terran army, looks like you want to be in STCs.
Holy mother of God. 4 more gateways popping down now, so it's going to be 8 gates. Robo Bay for Choya off of 2 bases, and he's getting low in his main, so he's not planning on anything, it looks like on expanding anytime soon.
It's 2 base timing time. He is going to go all in, probably with 2 Colossi and a bunch of gateway units, producing a Templar Archive, though, so he might add some Archons onto this as well. I don't think he's going to tech all the way up to Storm this game.
And there's a scan. It does see Robo Bay researching. It sees a robotics facility producing. So he knows there's Colossi out there, and he was adding Vikings, as we saw one just get killed.
Yep, I wonder if he saw the gateways being made as well.
Ooh, good question. Let's go ahead and take a look. No, he has not seen those. Actually, he saw these brand new pylons, so I know that recent scan revealed these, but it must have cut off its vision right here.
Yep. Might have a clue that they're coming out, but there's nothing to really confirm that.
Oh, let's see here now. 135 supply to 184. SDC is considerably ahead. He's sitting on not many upgrades, though. He's got some just about to finish, 2-1. But
yeah, look at that. Choya is going for Storm. Okay, so he is going to try to expand off of this.
All right.
Interesting amount of gateways to produce before expanding, though. I'm a little bit surprised.
Yeah, because he has not been able to realize those. How many are unused?
No,
has he actually? Wow, he did get a full warp cycle out of every one of those gateways. So.
He saved up quite a few minerals to make a lot of zealots, but of course at this point his economy definitely can't support a robo and upgrades and 8 gateways. You know, he needs that third, but at least it does keep him slightly safer against what STC has coming.
And what STC has coming is a maxed, well-upgraded Terran army with Vikings, multiple upgrades, and those ghosts in tow as well, so Choya, his work is cut out for him now. See some good storms or something like that. He is down by only 8 workers, so the difference in army is not all that great. Yeah.
Well, I wonder if STC is going to try doing some drops here pretty soon, just to kind of try to split up Choya's army and engage it that way. A couple different ways you can approach this here.
And looks like he doesn't want to move into his opponent's army at all, though. It looks like finally the Warp Prism is going to go down. Found out by those Vikings.
Yep. And so, yeah, both these players, like you kind of mentioned earlier, in a pretty good spot. The upgrades are looking good for both of these guys. The army is looking pretty good. The supply count, you can't really worry about that too much. Oh, Templar there with Storm and feedback ready for drops. Yeah, Choya very much ready to stay defensive, and STC very much ready to be aggressive if he chooses to. More gateways from Choya, okay.
STC's banking a lot of resources and finishing up a 4th base as well. Okay, we have 2 things going on. A drop down here over at the 6 o'clock position, making its way into the main, and a main attack coming right up the gut. Looks like he wants to start being aggressive right now.
Those Colossi taking some hits. Here come the Stalkers blinking up. Going to need to be some nice micro. Great EMPs on all those sentries. Force fields are not going to be a problem.
All right, but Storm does hit quite a few units, but Choya's really got to worry about this drop inside of the main. He's not warped in anything to go ahead and deal with that. Instead, just opting to try and crush through the front army there, but he's lost all of his zealots, so most of the buffer and tanking power is gone. Oh, bye-bye Templar Archives. You are done.
Yeah, SDC could potentially even get another production building if he focuses it fast enough. Yeah, he's going to get the robo as well.
Oh,
great drop from STC.
Oh, and he's just going to walk right into the 3rd as well. There's one High Templar. He does throw down into Storm, which actually ended up being about the most effective Storm I've seen, but that's still a huge amount of DPS in that army.
And STC's like, oh, you've got some gateways up here. I'll take those too. Drop finally getting cleaned up here, but supply for STC obviously not showing a huge amount of damage.
No, not at all. STC, of course, very low on these units. A well-placed Storm would be able to do quite a bit of damage, but I don't know if Choya has enough. Oh, finally moving away. Ooh, kills the medevac that doesn't have any forces inside of it.
Yep, that's right. So not a bad job at all by STC. He did a huge amount of damage to Choya. Choya is basically blasted back to the Stone Age at this point, and STC can take a fourth and feel pretty confident. Choya, yeah, he's just moving out. He's like, all right, I need to make something happen right now, or this game is over. So all STC needs to do is defend this attack well. If he can win this fight in a one-sided manner, he will definitely win the game.
He does have a lot of forces out now and a considerable amount of ghosts as well, so EMPs are going to prove to be quite the threat for Choya in this next engagement. He is down by 50 supply, just 15 of that in worker, so a big difference in terms of army. And he will get a cancel on the 5th, but again, he's only working on reestablishing his 3rd, so not the biggest hit to the STC.
Yep, that's right. STC can afford to play a little bit passive right now. Choya is the one that kind of needs to make something happen. Wonder if he's going to maybe do like another Warp Prism for some more harass out of that Robo Bay. We'll have to kind of see. I mean, Choya has done things like Colossus drops before in the past to harass, so I wouldn't put it past him. He is making another Colossus, but there aren't any Warp Prisms on the field, so...
He's finally reestablishing some semblance of an economy here, but of course his opponent is maxed once again and starting to bank a ton of resources, producing off of 4 bases, moving to a 5th as well. And these Vikings are upgraded, getting +2 weapons at the moment, and he is very well upgraded on his ground forces.
And here come the EMPs, great
Oh,
EMPs,
wow.
getting everything. A little bit of micro from STC should be all it takes to finish this game, and that is exactly what we're going to see.
Yeah, so it looks like STC is going to be the first player to take 2 games in a row here. A couple of good storms there, but it's not enough. Choya GG's, and OGS has taken their 4th game of this set.
Wow, man. I mean, leave it to STC. You know, I was talking about how I wasn't going to jump on the bandwagon or anything like that, but this guy might be changing my mind. He is playing so well.